So we got your book and all, and everyone at the publishing company and Ira and everybody is just like really excited about it.
The book is very different than the other Terminator writing, so we need a different name. He doesn't want to use his name Jeremy, so the editor suggests using his initials, Jeremy Terminator, JT. Jeremy had a last name from a phone sex client of mine, Leroy.
Just relax, give me that. Yeah, you're in my mouth.
I am the Lord's outcast, coming for their redemption, whether they like it or not. Everyone closes their eyes and makes their prayer for newfound libidinous powers. I reach down into my tube top, grab my raccoon penis bone, and clutch it tight. Please, oh divine jackalope, I want to be a real lizard. I want to earn a huge bone.
I can't, I'm not a good judge of how I'm feeling, and it's cold. I'm really exhausted because I ain't slept. Just, there's just a lot of pressure. Yeah, I've been planning it for a long time, and I hate having a penis. I just want to be rid of it. It's not like it does me any good.
So the author of Sarah was known as J.T. Leroy. And J.T. Leroy was in fact Laura Albert, who has used various names in writing, but also various identities in and out of her various identities in life. So she's had Speedy, who was kind of J.T. Leroy's assistant, who broke out to become Emily Fraser, who was a performer. But in writing, she's also had Laura Victoria and Glussenberg. So she's had multiple identities. So I found it really interesting. Why did Laura Albert create J.T. Leroy? Like, what was her motivation? What made her feel that she needed to use the identity of a young boy to express herself and carry off this story? And where did that come from originally?
So it's as if my world was underwater, and then for that half an hour, Terminator would talk to him. It was a gasp of air, and then I'd go under. He was 13, turning tricks, living on the street. And Dr. Owens, he says, why don't you call back tomorrow? And I didn't know if Terminator would, or if he would be there, or if it would work out. A lot of other boys who had been through me, they didn't live. I'm 32 years old, and I'm pregnant. And I'm still talking to Dr. Owens, but everything's shifting. But Jeremy is still there. And my body has just betrayed him in the ultimate fucking way. I am completely female. I have given birth to a baby boy who I'm nursing. There is no hope in hell that I'm ever going to give Jeremy the body that he really, really wants. Because my focus, my number one priority is this baby, not him. So the books were taking off, especially overseas, and you had German media really, really wanting to do live, in-person interviews. J.T. Leroy had to walk amongst us. So one day, Savannah was over our house, and she was sitting on the couch, and she'd shaved her head and dyed her hair blue, and she wanted to try my glasses. I had this straw hat, and I'd given her a raccoon penis bone, and she's chewing on it like a corncob pipe. And I'm looking at her, and I said, you look like J.T. Leroy.
So a lot of people were angry and upset. No one knew who the real J.T. Leroy was. They were angry at the deceit, the hoax, and they were angry at the fact that Albert was profiteering from the story of a young, sexually abused, vulnerable teen who had HIV. However, then this like statement itself was challenged, and the kind of press support behind Laura Albert said that there's no reference made to JT Leroy being HIV positive in either his writings or his interviews. So I thought that was fascinating. So who started this rumor? Where did this popularized grievance come from, and who started it? Who kicked it off? Is it just because Leroy is a young man who was promiscuous and slept with men for money, that it was easy to assume that that person had HIV, and therefore, when it broke out that Leroy was not a real person, that it was easy to demonize Albert for profiteering from this idea that this person had HIV. And then so, like, out of this situation, who's to blame? Is there anyone to blame? Or is it all like, it's just this crazy rumor that just grew out of control? And why were people so fascinated? Everybody embellished this idea of who JT Leroy was. It is pure fiction. It's like it is a great storytelling which just continued to grow, and part of that was all because of his infamy in terms of who that fluid person was and how they presented themselves in terms of the media and photo shoots, and everybody lapped that up and they wanted more. They wanted to know more about who this person was.
Jeremiah's from the Bible, but I like it. It makes me feel protected. I was born in Wild West Virginia on Halloween. My mom is Sarah. She had me when she was 14. She was doing drugs and didn't even know how to change a diaper. Sarah is a prostitute, a law lizard. We live in cars, motels. Every new town, we change our names. I can be a boy, or I can be a girl. But usually we're sisters because it's more allowed. Sarah gets married lots of times. Men just love her. She's beautiful. I keep thinking, if I can be as pretty as her.
So eventually, when it actually finally comes out and it's all out in the media and the realization is there that this whole thing has been fabricated and constructed, everybody is hating on Laura Albert and discrediting all the things that she had wrote, and calling it a hoax, and like blaming her, and calling her unhinged and crazy, and saying that she's got multiple personalities, probably deserves locking up, and all sorts of stuff. And it was interesting because there was a media discussion which I found on Wiki, talking about Albert's creation of J.T. Leroy's pseudonym and public personas, how they continue to this day, saying, looking back, Laura Albert anticipated just about all of it. Commented the author Adam Langer, long before we had split our personas into the lives we truly live and the ones that we choose to create on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere else. Albert created her own avatar. So, like, is she crazy? I don't think she's crazy. I think she's brilliant. I think she was ahead of her time in a lot of ways. And feel free to come at me for saying that. I mean, she did pay. She did pay for her deceits. There was, for the film, which was done with Antidote International Films, she ended up facing fraud allegations, and was put forward to a jury. And she was ordered to pay Antidote $110,000, which she had received for the contract, as well as 6,500 in punitive damages, and she was also ordered to pay 100,000 in legal fees to Antidote. But Albert reached an out-of-court settlement with Antidote, which allowed her to retain the copyrights for her past and future works and gave Antidote payments based on Albert's future earnings. So it's interesting in terms of how her drama and saga continues to this day. But I'm pro Laura Albert, basically. I don't think she's crazy. I think she is amplified, and I think what she did as a storyteller is just brilliant.
Crazy isn't being broken or swallowing a dark secret. It's you or me, amplified. If you ever told a lie and enjoyed it, if you ever wished you could be a child forever, they were not perfect, but they were my friends. Some I've seen, some never again. But there isn't a day my heart doesn't find them.
You know, what I've said is when JT was available to me, it's kind of like Tinkerbell. You know, it's like Tinkerbell exists if everyone believes. You gotta believe. And sometimes I would open my eyes and I would see a reflection of myself in a computer screen or a window, and I was always surprised. I was just like, that's not what I'm seeing and feeling.